matchup here of the Overwatch League of Champions. Right now we're just kind of getting warmed up here for our last game of week 1, being Zed F and Fluid. We just got one player that we're waiting to come in just so they can have their stuff done and ready. So we have in the commentary booth with me, oops, I didn't mean to click the button, DGC, or in the server. Crap. Oh, I forget the server name. I'm bad at remembering names in the server. Like, crap, I'm sorry. But we are getting... I will definitely have to agree with some of the matchups we've got to see over the last week. A lot of them have been really good, really close on a lot of maps. So it just kind of depends on which version of these teams comes out today, as both of these teams, from what I've seen in scrims, can be really dominant presence out on the Overwatch battlefield. But until then, we were just kind of waiting around. Let's get some people in the chats. Howdy, everybody. And while we're waiting, and speaking of, that brings Expert into the fold. Just gonna check real quick on his SR. Platinum. So, I'm not good at math. Let's see. That's diamond, diamond, diamond. Yeah, that, right? That's legal? Cause that, I think so, because that's 12 plus 4. Bad. Wait, no. He's a GM, isn't he? Or a Masters, isn't he? Which means I did my math wrong. I think that's good. Let me check. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, we're just gonna get confirmation on that on the math there to make sure it's all legal and set. If it is, we should be good to go here. And one of our commentators is in the chat as well. Hello, we see you in the text. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. So, I think I'm gonna make sure Fluid is ready because we have been kind of chillaxing. Yeah, no, it goes off of season 13 high, which is what we're going off of for all of this. And there we go. That will be both teams set, ready to go. Map 1, Hanamura, Zed F versus Fluid to kick off the season. Or not, to end week 1 of the season, my bad. You know, I'm bleh. Just trying to focus at the moment. Don't be afraid to comment in the chat box. We'll see it almost immediately, and we can just answer questions throughout. You know, we got plenty. I will definitely say the choke point, at least in my opinion, is one of the most highly contested points of Hanamura. Just because if you can't push through it, you're not going to get anywhere on this map. It's the key to, I guess, that almost snowball effect we see a lot of times on Hanamura. If you can quickly push through that first choke, you're more than likely going to push through heavily the second. If you have a tough time breaking through, it's definitely going to set the tempo of the match. with that, let's look at the lineups coming up here. Coming out for both sides. On the defensive, we're going to have the Hook and Holt double snipers with Mercy, Lucio. No Ash. I mean, kind of interesting to see that. We haven't got to see her at all this first week. Probably still getting some warm-up time in comp. Not a bad idea. Let's see. And on the offensive, we have double sniper, just Ana instead of Hanzo, with the Reinzar, Doomfist, and Lucio. Oh, really? Yep. Yep, and there you go. First pick, first two picks coming in favor of Fluid, and they're just gonna keep pushing on it. There you go. Gonna. And I was about to say this lineup we're seeing by Fluid's actually a very smart one. They have enough speed to keep up with their diving Doomfist, so I mean they're not really too far behind. They have that Lucio speed boost to help make up lost ground. And I think as long as they keep it more of a brawl style, which they're aiming for with their tanks, they should be able to take these points very easily. It just depends on second point defense here of Zed, which will now be swapping off the Orisa, getting a quick Widow headshot, and swapping to Reinzar with the Hanzo Grav Dragons inbound. Speaking of which, there's a lot of bolts getting ready to be used. Both snipers on the side of Zed F, along with our Mercy ult, and Lucio almost ready. That's 4 ults nearing completion. On the side of Fluid, almost all of theirs. Actually, all of those are over 60. But let's say Zed's just doing their best to hold here, and you gotta keep in mind they do have the spawn advantage as the Shatter will get 1. They don't have a lot of room to come back from. They just have to walk right back from spawn, especially with the Lucio. See, there you go. We are seeing Zed's reinforcements coming in, using the barrier to get the numbers back in their favor. That should give them 6. And that's why it's so important to snowball this first or the second point Hanamura. Once you lose that momentum, it becomes more of trench warfare. It's going to take you a lot longer to try to push down towards the point and take it, because as we know, spawn advantage is a huge thing in Overwatch, and with Hanamura's map design, it's a lot shorter to come back from the defensive side than it is on the offensive. And there you go, gonna get a shit of his own. I will say the shatter there was blocked. Oh. And I just saw this in the stream chat, so we'll kind of explain. Snowballing is basically when, like, you go from one point of the map and just completely roll over into the next part. You basically built up so much momentum, you just push straight through. So, like, for example, on this map, you just go straight from that first point. If they would have come into second point with ults and enough to push through and capture, that's kind of an example of snowballing, at least from what I understand. I hope that's right. If not, someone else in the comments can help explain it a bit better than I. But lots of ults at the ready, grabs on both sides, ready to be used, along with the dragons on the side of Zed. Nano and the giant fist of pain, the meteor strike coming down. But no, even though we are going to see a pick falling in Fluid's favor, they are backing up. They only have 3 out of spawn at the moment. 2 getting res back up. And I mean, oh, Jaybird gonna take out combat there before sliding on out back to their team. And I will say, Zed has a really nice defensive tool here, as they could easily use Grav Dragons here on this next push to almost annihilate any kind of offensive effort. Yeah, well, so they... Yeah. Getting caught in there. And I will say they are running more of the dive tanks here. More of a dive setup in general, just kind of... Don't usually see a Doomfist in that, but with where he's at currently, before anything changes with the next PTR, he's in a decent spot. I mean, but definitely better off than Tracer, I think, just because the armor with Brig is heavily used in a lot of higher ranks. You know, just because of how simple it is with that. I'm kind of interested on the DPS selection here. We do have the Doomfist, which I kind of get with that dive, can jump with the D.Va and Winston, but the Hanzo facing off against two enemy snipers. Well, probably only one because Death's harassing that Widow in the back. I kind of want to see how that goes. There you go. You got the grab. Barrier dragons. Oh, all kinds of stuff coming out. So all it took was that first couple picks. I will say all it took was those first couple picks. Like, I don't know if it's like a league thing or not, but most of the time I've seen a grab used so far, it usually turns out to be in the other team's favor. Almost like some kind of curse with the grab anymore. It's not as strong for the team using it as it was before. Because we saw it there. Oh, here you go. Yeah. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll get him fixed up. That's fine, we'll get that fixed. But we do have our next point coming up here. We were gonna have Fluid on the defensive, trying to hold off Zed F here from taking both points. We'll have to wait and see if we see similar comps to what we had last time, or if we're gonna see some mix-ups here just on the offensive. And it looks like we will. At least coming out of the spawn gate, at least off the assemble screen. Expert will be on the Doomfist. Never mind, swapping to the Bastion Doomfist. Looks like almost an identical comp to the one we saw run on the side of Fluid just a moment ago, except we are going to be seeing a Moira come in at a Mercy as well in place of Ana Lucio. On the side of Fluid, looks like we will be seeing them run Orisa D.Va, not bad on the defensive, got a bit of maneuverability. I can't speak English sometimes. And they'll be running the same supports, Junkrat Hanzo this time, not going for the Doomfist, not trying to dive out as far, just trying to spam the chokes and get the shields down to their opponents. Really smart idea. So we'll have to wait and see how these two teams perform here. Oh, there he is, but you have left the game, so you'll have to find a way to get back in as first push is coming through. Oh, going straight to the point is Zed. They're just charging straight up as we saw Fluid on the high ground using the high ground Orisa. They're just trying to keep their team together, and there you go, getting the first pick on the enemy Widow. Zaz out of mech. We're just seeing a heck of a brawl come out here. A little bit messy, but they're making it work. As Kawhi going to get the Orisa. Connor going to finish that one off halfway through, and it looks like Zed taking a nice advantage. There's two more picks in their favor. 3 and 4. If they can get high, there you go. They'll be taking this point in a little under a minute, unless someone can touch. No, you gotta get more people on the point. Don't waste time. There you go. Okay, so there'll be a little, a little more than a minute, about a minute 05. You know, still a lot of time to work here. And an early pick by Ox there on the Tracer. We're going to get the Hanzo, and we're going to see both Rhines charge in. Valk out. Doomfist using his rocket punch. All kinds of fighting on the point. Shatter going to get one. There we go. We do have Zed here getting the advantage. Zaz the only one left. High coming back from spawn. Immediately getting harassed there by the Tracer. Going to survive. Grab out on the spawn door. Gonna keep Fluid in there. They're getting backed up further to that room. just by the way Zed's pushing up on it, and sub 6 minutes. They do keep 6 minutes on the clock on this push. 6:06. That's what you call a snowball. That is a snowball. That's almost a prime example of how you run through a point. Well, we are going to be seeing the opposing team here. We're going to see Fluid try to counteract that, trying to push through both points on a little over 2 minutes. We'll have to wait and see how that works out for them. But Zed, they got to feel pretty confident going into this third round. They have 4 minutes more than their opponent, give or take about 4 seconds as well. I mean, they have a huge edge going into this. They don't have to worry as much. As long as they hold their opponent down, they should be able to keep an advantage here.
Aha, I fixed it. Eureka. Alright, so I'm not able to join because it is full, but I have been watching, so it's good.
Let's say we are going to see how this works out. We are seeing Fluid running the Reaper, Dive Tank, same supports. Wonder what High is going to play. We're going to play the Widow. Okay, going to use range and short range. A little combination of both. Zed, they'll be running the Doomfist McCree, so a lot of move around. You know, they can move people around pretty decent and stun them out of what they're doing. Except we are going to see Doomfist fall relatively quickly. Their first pick of the matchup actually going to chest, and that's already an early loss. We're already going to see Death just jump up to the high ground, going after the Mercy, but Ox going to go off and get 2 of his own. We are definitely going to see Zed have an advantage here, as they are going to. They have taken out a couple of key pieces. Just seeing Fluid come around. The fight's still close though. Both tanks for Fluid up, but they only have the Ana to support. Hey, that's not gonna end
yeah, it
well.
looks like Fluid's being very aggressive here with their tanks, but they don't have much support, so they're getting wiped out here.
Yep, and there you go. They do only have a couple of their members left, being Death and Chest, and trying to make it to the point. Death in the middle of a brawl here. Oh, getting where the Mercy is. Nope. Anti-nade. Not going to be enough. Chastin, though, will get combat, so a healer down on the side of Zed. Both teams getting their reinforcements back in now. And there we go. Our second announcer is back. Beautiful.
Here we go.
And Fluid getting knocked back again. They only have 40 seconds. Not a lot of ults here to speak of. They almost have both tank ones. They've been surviving the whole fight. Grab out on the side of Zed. Going to get 3 with the
man
Shatter. And that is
Fluid
a heck
just
of a
got obliterated there.
On the Diva Bomb. Not going to quite go where they thought it was, as it's going to hit the wall. That's going to be some bad news here. They only got 20 seconds. You have, at least on Hanamori, you have just enough time to regroup. But I don't know if you're going to be able to take advantage, as you just did lose your Reaper, even with the anti Coalescence out.
Yeah, it looks like they're being very aggressive here and pushing up. Diva is just rushing right in with no support.
Yep,
trying to distract the enemy so that the rest of his team can at least contest. Which is very smart on his point, but, you know, with his ult, I mean, with Winston's ult, I don't think he can hold it until the rest of the team arrives.
We will see as there you go. There's Chastin gonna get caught in the accompanying grab. Going with the Blossom as well. There's 2.
Oh, the Blossom with the double kill and the
3,
triple Reaper. 4. Oh man, that just secured it for him. That was an insane play by Reaper for Fluid there.
Like literally, it looked like they were down and out there. They only had the Winston left on point, but all it takes apparently is a Nano Reaper, and you get a 4-piece. That's all you need. As
That's all you need, brother.
We'll get 30 seconds added to the clock to maybe get a tick here on second point. Just gonna have to wait and see if maybe they can find some way to snowball this down to. Well, no, the opposing team's already set, but they will get the enemy Ryan Kawhi. That's already a pick in their favor. Quickly going after those on the top. High Noon as well from High, gonna get 1. Chastin gonna get 1 as well. So only 2 left on the side of Zed that are alive. They're getting backed up towards their spawn. Bullet trying to survive here on the point. Nope, taken down.
Man,
looks like.
Man, they really broke their mojo there after that 4-piece right there on that point. once that, they were just kind of shaken from there, and just they're not able to really fight as much as they can.
Yeah, nope,
Because Fluid's being very aggressive here.
Yeah,
they're getting wrecked over here.
Yeah, they're bullying around Zed here. We're gonna have to wait and see. There's another Blossom coming out. Gonna get the Zarya on point. Ox and Bullet trying to survive for their team. Nope, not gonna happen. Ox is the only one alive in the midst of it.
Looks like they're just trying to contest it as much as they can.
I mean, no matter what, Fluid has already gotten 2 ticks. If they can take, there you go. If they can get their opponents off, they will capture both in overtime.
Very good for Fluid. They're really pushing the enemies back here, and it's not really Zed F's time right now.
Now the question is, what will we see come out of these teams? I mean, Zed, of course, we know has the time advantage. They have their time bank up to 6 minutes. And I believe, if I remember the rules of 2CP, if the team with the higher time ties it up again, they're the only ones that push the second time, correct? Or would it be round 5?
I believe so.
I don't remember.
I believe so.
I haven't been this far in a 2CP in a while. I mean, last one was on Horizon before the rework. So I don't remember. It's been a bit. So we'll have to wait and see what Zed will bring to the table here. Just trying to push in 6 minutes. Only got to get both points. And if we look at their performance on the first time and their overall time you're allowed on this map, they only use like 1:54. I believe, if I did my math right, like 1:54 out of a possible 8 minutes to run the chorus of Hanamura. Very quick, very swift, and just quickly dominating their opponents. So we'll have to wait and see if they can keep that same energy going entering this next part of Hanamura. So Genji, Doomfist, lots of dive. Yeah, no, they're being very mobile, ready to just push in and jump.
May has already cut them off, being a troll as she is. Yes. Looks like Doomfist is going to be rushing forward, going to probably be going after the Reaper here. Reaper is going to flank him around the corner.
Actually, I do like the strategy by Fluid. May and Reaper trying to cut off some of that dive a bit. Just
that was a good hit by Reaper on Doomfist by Fluid onto the hamster. Very good.
There you go, gonna cut
Looks like Doomfist is going right for their Reinhardt. Very smart on his move to allow his team to move up unhindered.
And that May wall was beautiful. You cut up the supports from the DPS and the tanks, and now we're going to see the results. Picks quickly falling in the favor of Fluid. 3 of them coming from Chaston. Just popping off on the Reaper.
Fluid is pushing them back.
Make it 4. Don't even need the Blossom this time around. Just keep pushing. Gotta definitely.
Looks like Fluid's going to try and push them back all the way to spawn to help them. That's really going to help them regroup, if anything, actually.
To be fair, though, we do have only the Doomfist on the side of Fluid. 5, never mind, all the ults of Fluid are over 50%, so they should be able to get them within the next fight or 2. That gives them a huge ult economy advantage, especially since there goes the mines, going to boop up the opponents as well. Not going to kill any, but will delay just that little bit further. That can make the difference later on. Cheston taking Kawaii as he was blocked off, and the Hammond going behind to boop up Zed and to knock them back to spawn. We do have 2 picks.
Fluid is being very aggressive here. They're pushing past the choke point, which could work for them or could not. It really depends on how much they're going to push.
Yeah, no,
it looks like their Doomfist killed their support, so we're going to have to see how they can recover here.
Yeah, no, Fluid taking out, again, 4 theirs taken out as all of Zed is returning now from their spawn. Only 3 people left now for Fluid as the hamster comes flying in. Never mind.
The hamster's coming in. Zed F's being pushed off a point. Their control on this point is definitely being hindered at this moment.
Barrier and the Blossom.
Yeah, Death Blossom.
That looked like it could have been another huge one if it hadn't been for the stun. And now we're just seeing a really messy brawl out here on the point. Hammond Mines coming out. Will eliminate Kawaii. However, Zed does have control of the point. Hamster jumping back in. You're facing a Zarya and Brig. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's not going to work very well. Your movement is hindered heavily. So, Zed...
So it looks like Zed F's going to capture this point. Yeah, Zed F has captured point A.
Nice to see the Ashe come out here. I mean, we do play comp style, so since she's in comp, that's legal. Go for it. I kind of want to see
It'll be interesting to see how they play her in this game here. I mean, looks like she's being pushed hard by the hamster, though.
Let's say they do have 3 minutes to push in. They do have 4 ults. Well, they did have 5. They popped the rally. Zed or not Zed, Fluid has one in the Nano, so we'll have to wait and see how they can use that to their advantages. Yeah, no, rip. Grab, shatter by Zed.
And that double and just annihilating Fluid.
Yeah, Fluid
Yeah,
definitely gonna
Fluid
have to
will not be able to fight back here.
We'll have to
We're
wait
gonna
and
have to
see.
regroup and at least contest here.
Yep, they are coming in. There you go, Death flying on in, allowing 2 more of their teammates to come back out. The Tracer, Lucio, and there's the Hamster as well. There you go, just running a lot of fast movement characters. However, of course, Bob's
just gonna help contest this point even more, but he's just got sleep darted. Oh, but he's right back up.
Death a little late there on the touch.
Just barely late. Round 4 is coming in. Looks like this is gonna be a tied game here.
4-4, but I do believe only Zed gets the chance to push here because the time bank. Yep, they have 253. I honestly don't. I do think we could see Fluid come in and push on through to grab this point. They have done it twice now, and to be honest, they look the second time less so than the first. But once they, you know, they got that little spark they needed to push on through, they were able to succeed very well with that. So we'll have to wait and see what they bring to the table this time to try to push through.
Definitely, and I think they were very aggressive. I think Zed F was very aggressive last round due to the amount of time that they had. So they figured that they could push the enemy team back and buy more time for them to set up defenses.
I do think so, but right here, this is a match determinant right here. If we see Zed fail to grab this first point, that's our first tie of the season. I'm kind of interested to see if that could happen at any point, which will kind of make the map standings a little weird to deal with, but we'll have to see if that's the case, or if they'll be able to push on through and grab this point, making it 5-4 overall on this map, with it falling to Zed.
So it looks like they're going with the McCree here for Zed F. Got a McCree now. They got Brigadette. They got a Ryan. Got a Moira.
They're just playing
so
really close.
It'll definitely be interesting.
Like they're just playing a really
looks like they went with Pharah.
Front line and but say the Pharah up in the air to help spread them out.
Definitely the Pharah to help relieve that choke point for her team there. That's very smart move on ZF's point, but that also means they have less people on the grounds helping them defend here, so they are going to be pushed back here in a second. They're going to have to regroup.
Nice hold. Still running that Reaper, which is very strong on this first point. I mean, you cannot go through that choke without having to face the Reaper there, and they're not running anything to dive into the top left, at least from their angle. This little hold up here to try to get around that. So they're going to have to play into the Reaper. We'll have to wait and see what kind of interesting little things they can pull off here, as we are going to see the Hammond in the back line. Shatter down, going to get two.
Shatter's down.
Shatter gets
at least going to do a lot of damage for him.
On the side of Fluid, and of course the Coalescence allowing Zed some chance to push in. Nano Reaper once again becoming a dangerous threat, going to get at least 2. You know, Zed's going to be backed up.
McCree is being very aggressive here, pushing up against the enemy team.
You know, at this point, you got to find some different strategy. I don't think using the range here is working as well as you think, but at the same time, with just Grab and Bob, you could take out a whole team. I think that's what they're kind of banking on here. As once you grab those two ults together, they have nothing to counter them. They really have nothing at the moment. There goes the mines coming out. Boop around a couple people. Expert going down in the midst of those. Only a minute left. Grab and Bob are ready on the side of Zed. On the side of their opponents, they do have the beat drop and the high noon. Rally coming in as Zed just gonna charge straight to the point, or at least one of theirs is. You got to get on that point and stop them.
Oh, they got the Blossom here with the double kill.
Triple. Yeah, no, Zed
triple.
Is definitely...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, Zed got divided there. They only have 2 left, as they're gonna be trying to regroup here right before this last push.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Zed's gonna push up here. They're gonna need some miracle to push past this choke point here.
To be honest, I think they might be banking on Grab Bob and then get that Junkrat spam in there to help, you know, take out anybody that's a loose end. So we'll have to wait and see as 1, 2,
Definitely.
3, 4, 5. Shatter down, gonna get 2.
Oh, looks like they're just pushing real aggressive on that point. They got.
Yep.
They're just trying to get her, the Grav here and just try and push him off the point, but it was unsuccessful as they were not able to even get a single tick onto the point here, and they're they don't have enough time to get on. It looks like it's going to be a tie game, everybody.
We do have our first draw, actually, of the season. Understood. Well, I thought it would be a little bit longer before we saw something like this, but no. First draw of the season, both teams. Yeah.
Looks like play of the game is going to be the 4-kill by Reaper here.
Yes, the Nano Reaper that allowed us to enter round 4. It was beautiful. I mean, I don't know. Just some divine intervention or something took place, and to be honest, that's all you really need. Both teams holding strong here, giving us a strong first impression on map 1. Tied on Hanamura. Final score on the map at least 4-4.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting game to watch. It was very I guess, boredom. I guess would be the best way to put it, because they were really being very aggressive here, and I feel like they maybe should have gone a little bit more support, held the choke point for Zed F. They were being very aggressive against Fluid. At the end there, I think their best strategy at that last round was just beat down the Reinhardt. Once his shield was low, push in there with everything you've got, try and take out as many people as you can as the shield is down for Reinhardt, as it does take a while to get back to full charge.
Yeah, I will agree. I mean, that was a beautiful matchup on both ends. Like I said, I thought it'd be a little further into the season before we saw a tie here on any map, but no, we're gonna see it early on. I can't believe how quickly that actually came about, so that's interesting to say the least. But we do have a sub in. We're gonna have Rav come in for Chaston. So a little swap on the DPS, I'm assuming, or they're gonna completely mix it around. So we'll have to wait and see what they can do. Let's see. We do have Zed ready. I believe Fluid is now ready. Let me check. But that's already an interesting start, and with the way we do standings, can almost be something good. It kind of depends as we go on map overall, 1%. We'll have to see the way the standings go at the end of this. But of course, if you haven't checked out week 2 schedule, you need to check that out. It's in the schedule section of the Discord. We got a couple of good matchups coming up, especially just from that first map alone. I got some more hype for the Fluid game next week. I mean, both of these teams looking really strong in this game. Both of these teams' games next week, I will almost guarantee they keep playing like this, will be hard fought, really good matchups.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a very good season, and it's got some really, really awesome matchups here, and they're just head-to-head, really equal skill, so it's just kind of who can get the biggest hit first in these matches.
So let's see. We're just waiting on Fluid. I think they're making sure theirs is here. I still am lost on the fact that they were able to tie it. I mean, at one point it looked like Fluid was going to drop round 3 with no ticks at all, no points at all. Yet they found a way, of course, that play of the game that we saw by Chaston. That was the way they ended up saving that round and ended up making it 4-2 in their favor, entering round 4. I just can't believe in what way that would happen.
Yeah, they definitely owe it to them to be able to tie that and just keep moving forward, push it back into their favor, and just completely obliterate their defenses.
And I will say, I'm glad to see we got some people watching the game here today. I hope y'all enjoyed the first week of the season. We do have one game we need to swap over to this channel, but we'll get that soon. But for now, entering map 2, neither team holding a map, both having a tie to their record here, entering Hollywood. Let's get her going.
Hollywood definitely has some really good points for defense, but it's mostly in the offensive favor for these teams, depending on how they really play it.
In my opinion, it's kind of very similar to Hanamura. Is more your coasting phase to me, the long stretch through the western part of the map. I mean, first point, the choke is key. If you lose it, you're more than likely going to lose that spot unless some miracle occurs. After that, the middle phase with all the high ground, there's a lot of places to hide. A sniper or two if you really needed to. Keep some high ground dominance. Then entering the third point, you just have a lot of enclosed, tight spaces where you're more than likely going to see some nice brawl comps or something come out. We'll have to wait and see what the teams decide.
Yeah, definitely. We're really just gonna have to see their composition here on how they're gonna play this map. It looks like Fluid's going with the oh, never mind, she just switched. We got a Tracer here on Fluid.
There you go, going the Tracer single DPS with the triple support. Kind of weird to see the Tracer be that DPS, even though they can go after the supports a little bit. Still interesting to see. On the side of Fluid, looks like they'll be running that Orisa Hog combo again. This time, though, using the McCree Junkrat at the start, following with the same supports they've been running, the Mercy Moira. So let's see, we're already going to see Fluid start pushing in here with their... Oh no, they did swap to a Hanzo as well. They are running 2-2-2. Just trying to get on in there, keeping themselves alive. Rein Shield already down on the side of Fluid. That's going to be a bit of a back out. At least, you know, till the shield gets back up. An early hook. Not going to be able to capitalize, though.
Looks like Tracer is going to be flanking around here for Fluid, trying just to distract the enemy enough to where the rest of her team can push up. But it looks like it's going to have minimal effect as they are pretty spread thin here as their tanks are all the way in the back, being killed off one by one.
I will say that was a very nice anti-nade. I did catch that one there by, I believe that was Jaybird, getting the hog right as it went for the breather. Good. That would have been good if your team had the edge and you could have made a move on that. However, just with the way that fight was going, it was already out of the favor of Fluid before they could get a play like that, before they had an opportunity.
So it looks like Zed F's going to go on the defensive here with their Orisa shield, holding down the point. Not going to abuse that choke point up ahead. So we'll have to see how that goes for them.
Oh, and the Shatter was canceled out by the McCree, however, a huge anti on the point. Tire as well. Matchup's actually quite tight. We are going to see Combat, though, get the hog. And we're just seeing kind of the Ryan here just bouncing with a shield, just hoping to keep himself, but keep that shield between him and the enemy. As he was the only one left. We are seeing Fluid come back together a little bit, having 4 of theirs, but nothing to mount a push.
Tracer was just annihilated one hit with their Roadhog hook. She was done for as soon as he got a hold of her.
Yep, the further stagger shall be held there. Going to take out Lord.
So it looks like their Mercy is being smart, standing in the back here, just healing anyone she can. The Reinhardt's definitely pushing up here. Their Roadhog, the Zed F Roadhog is definitely holding back here. Zed F Orisa is just trying to keep her shield up, just defend her team as best as possible.
So we are seeing this combo of Connor and Raider working together very well on the hook and hole, and of course with the large amount of damage they can put in after the fact on a hook, they can eliminate any target they can grab. Speaking of, there goes the Ryan getting grabbed again, going to be saved by the bubble, only temporarily of course, as Mahai going to fire right back and get Ox, which is going to even up the numbers. The res will come out. Lord is not able to stop the Mercy, but Zaz will get Expert.
High Noon's coming out here.
There you go.
And it looks like everyone just ran and hid over there.
That's actually not a bad idea. Kind of force them to use more time coming in, even if they do capture this point. They're gonna have less time coming into the next point.
Oh, we got the grab here, and it's just gonna obliterate the Tracer with the triple kill.
Yep, gonna get 2 in the bongo, so both tanks are down. Combat using Val to just keep any remaining Zed members alive, being the Moira. Bullet gonna get taken out. Expert coming out on the Junkrat, trying to get some more damage. Combat just trying to
if Fluid can really push them off point here, it could really be the end. Oh, look at that. They're just annihilating Zed F here. Yeah, they just really got to stay on the point and just hold them back.
Yep, they're already pushing Zed back towards their spawn. Already getting a pick in the middle of that as well. And the long spawn shall be held for the Orisa as well. Unless that res comes out. Will come out. Nothing with the pulse. Zed is knocked back a bit though.
Looks like now Fluid is now falling back to escort the payload here, as their Lucio is now just trying to get it up to where the rest of the team is.
Yeah, but I will say, I mean, we're already seeing that's a lot closer than it really should have been, at least from the looks of the way Zed was running this comp. They definitely got a lot of early picks in those fights, and they used those to their advantage. Speaking of, High gonna take out Hux once again. Whole Hog coming out as well on the side of Zed, just trying to spread everybody out.
Fluid is being very aggressive here as they're pushing up. Orisa just got sleep darted, but not for very long.
And I will say, nice anti, gonna get both tanks and the Moira. Nothing could be taken advantage of though, as Fluid gonna be backed up.
Yeah, Fluid being so aggressive, I don't believe was a very good strategy for them, as they were pretty spread thin. They just gotta defend that point, stay on the defensive, pick off anyone that's, you know, lagging behind, so to speak.
I do think they are mixing a bit of styles a little weirdly here, as they are trying to run the Rhine Czar with a Tracer Widow. I mean, the Widow works. Grab, Shatter only going to get one. However, 2 picks already falling in Zed's favor by that point. And the res anyway on Kawhi. Alex getting Jaybird, so healing is gone for Fluid. Speaking of, there's a tire taking out the main tank. And Zoth,
yeah, Fluid's push here is not going well for them. They've been stopped twice in their pushes to try and get Zed F off this point, and it's just not really going well for them. I think they just need to regroup with their tanks and just try and push up.
I do think the Shatter grab, well, yes, it can work. As we saw on that last map by Zed, they made it work on that 6-minute push of theirs.
Looks like Fluid is switching to Diva here to get that extra tank and obliterating that Roadhog.
So getting some extra DPS on the off tank here with the Rhine. I mean, Rhine can be a good DPS when he's not holding up that shield. But having the Diva, they're just able to dive out and catch someone like the Sniper, just to harass them off the high ground. Really good strategy, especially since Diva can, well, delete most of the squishies in the game just with the missiles and her normal fire.
Looks like Diva's going to go with the high ground here, try and ambush anyone that's going to try and come out here. Tracer's got her ult here, so I wonder how she's going to use that against the team.
Yep, gonna get the
Roadhog ult's going to push him off the point and get him out of overtime.
Nope. Gotta get right back with the
Diva.
Diva.
Diva's going in with the nerf.
With the sound barrier as
Diva's
well.
going in with the nerf.
Lots of health.
Oh, it looks like Fluid is pushing them off the point so that they can get to this checkpoint just in time.
And not to mention the bit of stagger there on the tanks. Both of those tanks and Expert. Literally 4 other people will be back at the old spawn. They have a couple that need to go regroup. They're kind of caught out here. So depending on if they get grabbed or not, that'll be some nice picks in the favor of Fluid. Keeping 1 on the payload, being Jaybird, not a bad strat. Just keep the payload moving as you move your aggression towards the end goal. And there you go. High gonna get the pick on Bullet as well.
So it looks like they're going to just try and push up, trying to clear up this choke point up here. Looks like Zed F Sombra is going to try and flank around and take out any stragglers as she goes after Widowmaker here and just is very successful against her.
And the Shatter and the Pulse Bomb as well. Wow.
Double kill on the Pulse Bomb.
Lots of picks there. Just, I mean, to be honest, at this point, if you want to help counter the Tracer, if you, like, any character can't stop it, especially the, like, McCree or Sombra, however, just the biggest counter, I believe, to Tracer at this point is armor. It makes it a lot more difficult for her to get her damage through, so, I mean, of course, if you need to and you want to run it on the support, run that Brig, maybe triple support. We'll see as Diva Bomb. Not going to grab anybody.
Diva Bomb's going to at least clear him out.
At least temporarily.
At least put him in hiding there.
Zed just holding off here. They will at least force Fluid no matter what to overtime. And the Bob coming out as well on the side.
Bob's coming out. So Bob's coming out, trying to push him off the point.
7v6, just trying to get that extra damage in there, but High says no way, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna get 3! Just firing off in the back lines there.
This is going to be a very close game here. If Zed F can really get on the point here and at least contest it until their tanks can get back, they can just, they can at least try and push off Fluid here off the point.
Yeah, nope. The Shatter battle will be won there by Fluid, and they're gonna ride that advantage high here. They only got one left on the point. Oh, never mind. Had one.
There we go. Team kill at the end there, and we've just got round 1 complete going into Fluid's favor.
Once again, a very close round. Here done by Fluid once again, getting held to the very limit like they were on Hanamura the second time. We'll have to wait and see how well Zed can do pushing through. As we saw, of course, on our last map, first round they had on the attack, they pushed through with 6 out of a possible 8 seconds, or 8 minutes remaining, my bad. They were very aggressive early on in this game, and it worked very well for them. However, we saw on the second push, they got slowed down a bit. And on the third, they were shut down entirely. Very close, mind you, like literally percentages off. Like 2% it looked like, but they did get shut down. So, how do you think they'll handle that coming in here on this first push on Hollywood?
Well, I think Zed F is gonna try and go definitely the aggressive route as Fluid did, as Fluid really just pushed up on that last round and barely got it overtime and under 20 seconds getting to that checkpoint. It was a very close game last time, and I think it'll probably be the same here as long as Zed F plays their cards right, and so does Fluid. They have to really gotta stay on the defense here. I wonder where they're going to place their Reinhardt to try and beat back Zed F.
I don't know how
the
well
placement of Reinhardt.
As we do know, one of Ryan's biggest counters is, well, CC and getting knocked around. Of course, the Doomfist, very good at doing that. Very good at knocking around a Reinhardt as he stands still there. So, wondering how that'll affect the outcome of this game between Zed and Fluid.
So it looks like Zed F went for the high ground with a teleporter with Symmetra.
Oh, as we are gonna
definitely very smart with them, as they can flank around the enemy's shields and just obliterate their back line, as what they're doing right now.
Especially when that Sim beam gets going. I mean, it is definitely a laser beam of death, and they've already gotten 4 picks in this fight. Gonna res one of the only 2 they've lost, which was their Zarya. And literally all they have left is a hamster to deal with, and they've captured it very, very quickly once again. If they can just, there you go, knock away the hamster ball. Nope, Fluid's not.
Yeah, like I said, Zed F being very aggressive here and just trying to get on the point as fast as they can, beating back the defenders here.
Once again, a large time bank for Zed after their initial capture. 5 minutes, 20 seconds at least to push through.
So it looks like Zed is actually going to stay on the point, unlike their predecessors. They're just going to stay on the point and not be too aggressive, which could be smart on their part.
I bet like this part of the map is really more of a shooting range, especially with the high ground. I mean, you're just kind of funneled into this little tunnel-like area until you can make it to the jail. Shatter does come
Hammer
out.
down, shut down.
Not going to get none. We are going to see the Sim wall come up as well, blocking some of Fluid's further range
Reinhardt
damage.
with a double kill.
However, the opposing Ryan for Zed is going to be brought back to life by the hamster ult in the back. Going to cut off the Zed F spawn. However, they'll just kind of sweep through with the Rhine shield. Now the Meteor
Strike's coming down. Coming down on the back line. Takes out Hanzo.
Yeah, and
but has minimal effect.
However, it did move the Rhine just far enough out of the way for the Zed F Rhine to slide on in there and get that perfect charge. So, I mean, it was beautiful to see.
It looks like Symmetra has set up her turrets in the back line to try and disrupt movement of the healers, which is very smart on her part.
We are going to see the Shatter will only get the hamster. However, that's more than enough, as they'll get both tanks with the Fire Strike. And it just looks like we are seeing Zed once again just pushing forward. You know, that's all you got to do. Just keep on pushing. And it looks like we are going to see Fluid regroup here. They do have 2 ults, including Shatter and the High Noon. Going to see Kawhi get slept on the charge. Shatter going to come down, get 2.
Mercy got hit with that Shatter, but she was not able to escape quick enough.
Nope, Zed will get at least 1 pick, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, with that sound barrier, Fluid was able to push him back here.
Yeah, and we are just going to see a dominant presence here on the side of Fluid. They are going to hold strong and force Zed to regroup. Taking time off the clock at least, and perhaps setting up this huge defensive here that'll allow them to win the map. We'll have to wait and see. However, we are going to see Expert and all of Zed come from the right, just coming together as... There you go, Valky's coming out, charged by Kawhi, gonna miss and get hit by Death, gonna get charged back. Of course, the anti gonna hit Death there. Early pick for Zed. We'll have to see what they can do to take advantage.
Looks like Tracer just took out the back line of Zed F as their healers. Mercy is going to be trying just to keep up with her team here, but she's being saved here by the shield.
And yep, the high noon from behind going to be a nice little zone. Going to at least get the Mercy, and they're also going to take out Doom. Used almost a full minute on this push on the side of Zed. They only got one ult coming in. They do have 3 that are very close to finishing, though, in comparison to the 1 on the side of Fluid with only 2 nearing half. Oh, well, 2 over half, my bad. As we gotta have to wait and see if Zed's aggression can pay off here. They are just trying to push on in, trying to get the early advantage when it comes to numbers. High will actually take out Expert. So that's one less ult to use.
Yeah, their Doomfist, Fluid's Doomfist was being too aggressive against the McCree, underestimating his opponent. Looks like the Hamster is gonna go after their back line of supports. But was unable to take him out.
Shatter blocked, at least the one used by Fluid. We're gonna see the Nano Ryan come out here.
Nano Ryan's up here.
Along with the grab as well. Gonna catch 3! Just swing away at the Shatter by Kawhi. Also gonna miss though, however, because it was blocked by the shield. Not gonna matter. 3 picks in the favor
their grip
of Zed.
Fluid's grip on this point is just shattered at this point. Now they're just completely gone. And it looks like Zed F is gonna capture this control point.
But I will say, Fluid holding on a lot stronger here than they did on their first attempt of Hanamura. They are holding very well, forcing their opponent to only have a minute before the time bonus. So we'll have to wait and see if they can keep that going. Hamster off in the back, popping the ult. We'll get 1. Gonna see the Ryan just comb on through the minefield.
High Noon's popping here.
Oh,
he takes out Genji.
Yeah, High getting his ult deflected right back into his face, and we're just gonna see Death Unbound. Nice charge, as they're gonna begin knocking back their opponent towards their spawn. I'm kind of surprised to see the sim still going here. I mean, it is working fairly well, but at the same time, I do think you could use a bit more damage here on the up front to go with your brawl style. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where this goes, because I mean, we do know Sim's ult can be a massive lifesaver. As Grav gonna get death only. However, the beat drop will save him. And he's gonna be stuck in the middle of Zed's back lines. Jaybird getting the first pick, Connor and Bullet following shortly after getting picks for Zed. Expert res, so Zed technically lost none. As the Nano Fist comes out. Nano Zarya as well coming out into play here. Just gonna be a even bigger laser beam of murder.
Yeah, I think Fluid was just trying to hold on, trying to keep whatever they had over there, but it won't be successful as the Nano Boost just was not enough for their Doomfist.
I mean, however, they are keeping Zed to very low time this go around. I mean, they're going to be at a minute at the most. Shatter going to get blocked by the shield at just the right moment. We are going to be seeing a nice little brawl here. Turns coming out onto the payload, all taken out, charged by Death, going to just knock Connor to the wall. There you go. Fluid starting to get those picks. Expert though in the back. Gonna get
Genji was shut down.
Slept. No kills for them. Combat though on the Mercy getting the Hamster killed there. High slept. Getting antied as well. Gonna try to retreat back. Nope. Taken down by the dot damage of Ana.
ZF's got 30 seconds to push back up on the point and just get them outfit so that they can just push up and get this over.
Yep, last fight here for both teams. Grab coming out on the side of Zed. They do get 2 in it. No follow-up though. Neither are going down quite yet. They actually all got the biotic grenade there, keeping them alive. The fight, payload is moving. High gonna take out the Ana though, so that's one less healer. This fight is going very south very quickly for the side of Zed. Riptire as well gonna come out. Gonna get the sim.
Riptire with a double.
However, Only 2 supports remain for Zed along with the Genji. I don't know if that's going to be enough as Res was just used. Yeah, nope. There goes the Ana once again. 2 remaining. Kawhi here on the Rhine coming back out, trying to... Looking like they're going to be coming in with Expert Combat, trying to come back in. Bold on back. And Expert going to be able to touch. Both Rhines collide once again. Meteor Strike coming down onto the point. Going to get Expert. Combat just trying to slip around there. Shatter will get 1 and all kinds of ults just coming out. Oh my lord.
Looks like we got the Nano Reinhardt, but it was pushed back by Doomfist.
Fluid.
Fluid has won.
We'll take our second map. So, first one was a tie. Second one looked like it was going to repeat. However, no. It will be Fluid. However, play of the game falling to the main tank of Zed here, being Kawhi. Just in the middle of this grab, getting both tanks and the LM as well onto 2 additional targets. Once again, this game, very, very close. Just no map so far or no round on either team has seemed out of reach, like at any moment for either team to come back and take a win.
It's definitely been interesting as they've been really aggressive in offensive capabilities.
They have been, and I mean both sides using a mix of aggression and passiveness just to help take down, kind of adapt to their opponent's comps. They're playing that game of chess Overwatch is known, or is at least supposed to be. You know, they're playing that game of chess of, okay, our opponent's doing this, what can we change, both hero pool wise and playstyle wise, to help us push through. That's really the big thing we have to look out for here throughout this game. They are countering each other very well. They are playing each other to a T, almost as if they've known each other for a long time. Like, some of these players have been competing with each other before this. I mean, just whether in competitive or other scenes or whatever, they have been competing with each other before. And to think that they know each other well. So, I mean, if you know your opponent well, you know what they're going to do. If you know what your opponent's going to do, you can take advantage. That's what you really got to do. As Chaston coming back in here on the side of Fluid, going to be going in for high, so bringing him back out on the DPS. I think we're going to be seeing a Lord and him taking that role. Zed is ready as we go on to our first control point map, Busan, home of the Weeamoos. Got to see where this goes for both teams. I mean, so far this matchup's tight. Only 1 map win overall. The first map was a tie. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
It's definitely going to be an interesting game here as Busan has a lot of sniper areas that you can really take advantage of, and as we've seen, these teams love their snipers, so we'll have to see how they play it in their favor.
That is true, as we're just now waiting on Fluid. I'm just going to type in the score. 0-1-1 Fluid. There we go. I can remember the score. Boop. There we go. I remember. I don't have that short of memory. I hope. I will definitely say, though, this first week of the season has been super exciting. We've had some really close matchups. Some that may have not been as close, but were played hard to the end. And I mean, so far, all of our matchups have looked really good so far. I will not say there's one team indefinitely I could point out as being a winner, especially with the scrims we've seen throughout the season so far out of our 8 teams. I don't think there's a clear-cut first place, at least, you know, overall in the grand scheme, but at least so far we do have a definite first place with some of the games we've had so far with the standings. Just kind of want to see how these matchups progress over the course of the season. However, we now are going to be seeing our control point map, Busan. Kind of wondering how these teams will stack up their lineups here, as we do know control points are more tight-knit, brawl-esque maps, or some of the most like some of the best dive maps that you could find in the game, as you know where your opponents are going to be for the most part, and you have a really good idea where the point is. You just got to jump in on it.
Yeah, definitely, and it's gonna be a very interesting um, match here because they're really going with tanks here. They got Fluid is going with Genji, but also is Zed F. So we're gonna have to see how they're gonna play it here.
And on the side of Fluid, looked like they're running an almost dive comp, just throwing in the Ana, kind of a new one for that style of comp. On the side of our Zed F, they are going to be running the more bunker or more brawl-less comp, just throwing in the Hagen that's already going to get the nice hook. First pick will be Jaybird. However, of course, we are now seeing Fluid fight back, getting 2 picks of their own. Kind of like the
Looks like
saying.
Fluid is actually taking control of this point here.
Yeah, about to
Pushing
say,
the enemies back.
well, there you go, this fight. At least we're trying to see Zed come back and at least keep one part. No, not going to happen here. They're going to be forced off the point. Fluid got a capture. There you go. I will say that fight kind of went in this direction of anything you can do, I can do better. And literally, first pick may have fallen directly to Zed, but shortly after that we saw the next 3 out of 4 picks falling to Fluid. They definitely jumped on them like a bunch of hawks. Took advantage, especially with the anti. There you go. Can't heal up your tanks. They're going down.
Definitely, and Fluid is being very aggressive here as they're trying to push back, give them every chance to secure points here.
Yeah, nope. They literally took out 3 with the anti, then they just kind of cleaned up shop there. They're not allowing any sort of close chance here on Zed's part, and they do have 5 ults entering this next fight. I know they won't use every single one, but dang, even if one pops off in this case, that's going to be more time for them to gain percentage against their opponents. Speaking of, there goes the Diva Bomb and the Primal Blade Nano. Oh my, never mind. Fluid's just going to clean out their ult supply. Only ult they keep is going to be on the Genji, and never mind, they're going to pop it right at the end. Taken out immediately, only 1 pick between all 5 ults. I mean, a little bit of wasted time and percent. Yes, they did save some percentage with it, but beyond that, it looks like they will be beginning to lose this fight. There you go, Connor Robinson getting 2. Never mind. Lord and Death, along with Zaz, just trying to fight back here.
This really could be anyone's point here as we got Fluid's reinforcements coming in, but they've just got tanks on here. They're going tanks against squishies, and it's just not gonna... Oh, actually, I might be wrong here as they were pushed off. Reinhardt's gonna try and contest here.
Gonna get one.
Looks like he's gonna get McCree.
And then you do have the Doofus coming in. There you go, taking out the Lucio. Expert with the high
High Noon right behind.
Not gonna grab any, but there you go. We'll end up at least fighting a little bit longer. Zed managed to take the point in the midst of all that. However, Fluid immediately taking it back.
Lucio is coming in. Tried to ult, but was shut down.
Now Connor just trying to survive. Oh, getting D's hands by Winston.
Using Primal Rage as to knock Ryan off the wall. There he goes.
And Roadhog getting
Objective secured.
Getting knocked down into the train tracks. That's not the way to catch a train, as Fluid will take this control point. Here, getting round 1 on Busan. I will say, I mean, Busan playing this dive style, kind of intrigued how they're doing it, especially with the Ana. Ana is what, if you're not going to run the Zen, you got to run the Ana and a dive, just because they both serve a similar purpose to help increase the damage output that can be done by your low DPS Winston, your main tank there. And in the case of Ana, as we've seen throughout, when this team antis, they anti a huge portion of the enemy team, at least half on everyone that I've seen so far. And once they're anti, they can't be healed, so you can just take out those tanks with relative ease.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Zed F is actually going to go and try and take the other side of here, trying to flank, but was unsuccessful as their Winston was taking out because he just pushed up too far without reinforcements. D.Va tried to push in to help him, but it just was not successful. And Zed F is going to be pushed back here as they're going to have to regroup.
I mean, already, I mean, Zed, though, getting 3 picks, though. Ox, just fight on the point alone for Zed. Making it 4!
Man, with the trip. Dang! McCree just holding it back. Dang. I was completely wrong.
Okay, understood. Apparently, Chester's not the only DPS that can revive a bad situation. We're going to see Ox pop up for a 5-kill streak there and get High Noon. All within the first fight. Just saving the point for their team. Understood. And
Ox really saves Zed F there to get at least a couple points on the board for him.
And then speaking of the Zed DPS, already getting 2 picks as Expert. Already staggering out Fluid once again before they can get in for their second push. Of course, we can't forget the supports throughout this game. We really can't. I mean, jeez. They are popping off a little as well. Especially, we are seeing, let's see, what was I gonna... Oh, yeah. We are seeing a heck of a performance by both support groups. They have been the saviors of many of a point. However, at least that time, Ox is going to be that savior. High Noon by Ox going to get the Diva defense in the face. Bob coming out getting 2. Chasten getting 4 overall.
And it looks like Fluid has definitely pushed back Zed F here and is just trying to get onto the point and get points on the board.
And I mean, they'll have both support ults coming up in this next fight. We do see Lord hiding in the bushes with that pulse bomb, looking for a nice chance to get a big fat triple as they've been doing throughout most of this fight. Of course, Beat Drop and Nano are out on the side of Fluid. We do have Beat Drop, Coalescence, and the Giant Fist on the side of Zed. Nano is out. Meteor Strike is out.
They're being very aggressive with their tanks here. Fluid is just trying to push them back, trying to get as much score on the board as possible.
That's it. You get a scratch and claw on these control points. And that's all they're really trying to do. They're just trying to scratch and claw and keep this percentage going. They just need this one map. And we did see it last night. At least when it comes to teams grabbing it twice, you might want to be the second. That's always what you want to do. So if we do see...
Oh, we got the nerf going right on the point, getting the Ashe in the kill.
If the fight's staying pretty even here, except Lord will take out part of the healing for Zed, and then Anti getting both Zed tanks. No healing from Coalescence there. Expert going to come in at least to help get some more damage. 2 picks from him.
Fluid was having to fall back with their Winston, saving them on that, saving the rest of his team while putting himself in the bubble as a sacrifice.
I will say though, I mean, 1 loss compared to, well, the whole team, and of course, you did stagger out their diva as well, so you will be able to at least catch up percentage-wise before they get back. And
definitely, it was a very quick decision on his part, but he made the right decision, as now he is already back, and his team is holding the point pretty well so far.
The only question you got is, there you go, what's Bob gonna do? Bob's planning to do
There's Bob. There's Bob pushing in, and they're just wrecking. They got Ashe and Doomfist are down for Zed F.
And it looks like we might be seeing Fluid be that second team I was talking about when it comes to capturing second. Well, Zed, of course, is going to be the ones coming in here. They have the advantage. They do have the edge. However, of course, both teams beyond the point of no return. Next team to win a team fight. Unless some miracle of nature happens like we saw at the beginning of this map. It looks like whoever wins this will be taking control. Pulse bomb out.
So they're really starting to fight desperately here. They're just trying to get onto the point and contest it, Zed F. Looks like Moira is gonna go pop her ult just to try and do as much damage as possible, but
and it's working.
It looks
Zed
like
coming.
Yeah, it looks like they're pushing off. Zed F is actually pushing off. There, oh, we got the Diva ult up here.
Gonna miss.
Minimal effect though.
As we are just kind of seeing the Winston here on Zed, along with the Tracer, just fighting for their lives. Swap of the Winston. Never mind. As Diva bomb from Zed coming in, not gonna grab any. They do have Pulse gonna come out, grab none as well. But Zed has more reinforcements coming in and more ults. Speaking of, there goes their
Diva was really able to hold back the enemies until they were able to get reinforcements into the line.
Yep, and there you go. They are gonna have this deep old fight here on the point. Rocket Punch. Coalescence twice in this fight by the Moira there. Combat trying to keep their team alive. Primal out on the side of Fluid. It's just an all-out brawl.
Zed F does hold the point at the moment, but they're still being contested by Bob, actually. Bob was holding the point for him.
Bob and Death
The Nerf is coming in.
Gonna get 2.
Nerf gets 2 kills.
And of course, Bob
definitely pushes it into Fluid's favor here.
Fluid. I mean, they may have
Fluid is gonna capture it. They're gonna get it here. Fluid has captured it.
I'm about to say, maybe it was actually 3rd time's the charm. Either way, Fluid will end up grabbing the first 2 maps to have a win. That'll make the score. Oh, well, both teams have a tie. Fluid can go up 2-0 overall in this game. Of course, the last-minute Diva Bomb that would claim 2 lives going to be the play of the game here. Not to mention the large amounts of damage that came off in the middle of that cluster around the giant bungle.
That was a beautiful round, very climactic, and it was just absolute chaos at the end, just an all-out brawl.
Yeah, and I will say, towards the end of the broadcast, we'll try to get you next week's matchups for these teams. I mean, I've kind of been trying to do that in the ones I streamed, but we do right now entering halftime. Right now, score 2-0 and 1 favor of Fluid, as we'll be entering our pure payload map, our escort of the evening, which will be Watch Point Gibraltar. Kind of excited to see where this one goes, and I mean, just while we got a little bit of a break here in the action, as you know, the Christmas event's coming up relatively soon, ladies and gentlemen, and of course with that comes Christmas maps. So keep an eye out on our stage 2 map rotation. As long as the winter event's up, you can better expect to see some of the winter festivities going on in our matchups. At least one of those maps making it in. I believe those 2 are Hanamura and I always forget the other one that's Christmassy. Isn't it? I swear I don't remember, but that's not important. Just keep an eye out. It's not Hollywood. It's Kings Row. There you go. It's Kings Row.
Kings Row, that's a good one, yeah.
So
that was actually in one of the Christmas comics, actually, that they released for Overwatch.
So keep an eye on stage 2. I mean, we might be seeing some Christmassy maps depending on when that map rotation falls. Until then, though, just kind of waiting on. Oh, one of Zeds has left the building. Okay, DJ's going to be coming in for Ox.
So they're switching up their players here. That'll be definitely interesting to see how they adapt to their people.
Yeah, about to say, I mean, he's just been kind of watching this whole time. We'll have to wait and see what he can do coming off the bench. I mean, you've been watching this game, you noticed, yeah, your team got a tie, that's good. Then they kind of started going downhill from there. They lost the next 2. Which...
yeah, Zed F is not doing good for him right now.
Like, I definitely will say that has to put a damper on things, especially with the way that second map of Busan started off. Of course, I'm surprised that wasn't played, the Ox 5-piece that happened throughout the course of that point. But I'm not the Overwatch algorithms. I don't know what to say there. But waiting on whatever subs may come in for Fluid. However, for now, since we got a little break in the action, we kind of want to go over some of the scores from the last week here in our last game of week 1. Of course, starting off at the top, leading off the week was Enigma versus Arctic. That one started off with a 5-0 in Arctic's favor. They're currently our first place team entering week 2. In the next game, it was Bloodborne versus Busan. Bloodborne would end up taking that one 3-2 to start off our first day of action here in the Overwatch League of Champions. Day 2 being yesterday, Christy Crew would fall to Castillo 1-4. However, I will say, getting to commentate that one live as well, both teams looked really good. I mean, the mistakes that were coming out on either side seemed to get fixed the further along they went into that game. So I'm really excited to see where they go entering into the next week. And then finally, of course, we have our last game of the week right here. We've been hyping it up since the beginning of the stream. Fluid versus Zed, currently 2-0-1 overall. We will be having Fluid in the lead there. Finally, we're going to be seeing Craze come off the bench, coming in for Warrior, and we're going to be seeing High come in for Chasten. So a bit of a swap up here. Seeing the new pieces finally coming out onto the field of the Overwatch League of Champions and their test season debut. Can't wait to see how that goes. Alright, I can spell. There we go. Ready. Alright, both teams ready. Map 4. Let's see if Zed can pull out the first map win of the series. Can you really tie on a payload? I don't think you can tie on a payload. Unless,
I don't think so.
I don't think
they would have to. Yeah, they would have to just not capture it at all. But actually, no. Yeah, you can't. No, you can't actually. You can't. It's not possible. I don't think.
So
it's just never happened for me. I've never seen it happen. So
Zed's either gonna grab their first map win of the set, or we'll see Fluid take it 0-3-1 in their favor. I mean, like we said, this was our first time this season starting off this game on Hanamura. If you didn't get to see that map, and you're watching this live, go back and watch that. That was a masterpiece of how to play that map. That was beautiful. Going into the 5th round overall, that was beautiful, I will say. But
so we'll have to see how these teams really play this map. They got a Genji here for Fluid.
Looks like more of a dive-esque setup once again, just using the Torbjorn.
Yeah, we got a Christmas Torbjorn in here.
Interesting. Yeah, getting ready for the new event coming out soon. I'm assuming that's going to be this Tuesday. I mean, that's when the big updates happen, where the servers will be off the whole time. And also away skins, I'm hoping. Maybe the PTR will drop at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it's just the PTR. I don't know. Hoping it's both. However,
so we'll have to see how they play this map. It looks like Zed F isn't going to be pushing the point on defense. I think they're going to give him a false sense of security here.
I will always say it's good to hold that high ground to start off, and I mean, force the opponent to try to come into you. Either that or, well, never mind, DJ coming right off the bench and getting the first pick of this matchup, taking out Lord on the Genji. Understood. Halo, though, still a moving, going to right before the drop-off. Might have been a little late to stop it there. We'll have to wait to see as the ante up top will claim another life being DJ. Both DPS are gone. Mercy's gone. Zed is losing a good chunk of their players here in this brawl.
Yeah, Zed just was not able to hold that high ground with D.Va just rushing in, and their Winston also is just... It was not... They weren't able to hold it with just Ryan and just a couple other squishy players. They just weren't able to hold it, and now they're being pushed back. As the Ryan falls...
Yeah, but of course we do see the...
Once the Ryan falls, they're just done. Yeah, their Mercy is going in for the revive.
We're going to get the Zarya. Craze, though, going to get the revive on their Winston as well, so numbers still stay in the favor of Fluid, and they're going to keep that in mind as they're still pushing ahead. Just try to take advantage of whatever they can here.
Yeah, it looks like Zed's Reinhardt is back, but they're going to have to fall back as they've already taken the control point. Their best option at the moment is just fall back, let them gain a little bit of ground to give you time, ZF time, to regroup and make defenses, but they just did not take advantage of it and were completely obliterated.
I was about to say, they didn't even have time. By the time that gate was opened, you already had the Genji and Winston diving on in, using that ult on the Genji side, just to take out 2, and of course the Winston helping clean up a 3rd. It's just... We saw it last night in the Krusty Castillo game. If you can stagger people out on this map, you're going to have an edge, especially the supports. The supports are the big key to any composition surviving for the most part. So if you can take them out early,
D.Va falls right into the Junkrat trap.
You win. Shadow gonna miss.
We got the nerf coming in.
Coming from behind, gonna get blocked. However, it does look like Fluid,
all-out brawl here on the point.
And Fluid just kind of still pushing the payload, keeping the Ana behind there to keep that going. And it does look like we just have a really messy, spread out brawl now on both sides. And I think that's what Fluid really wants.
Oh, and look at Fluid just picking off.
Yeah, that is kind of their strategy here. They're just trying to spread out their opponents and pick them off one at a time. That's kind of what you want to do with a dive. Get those people isolated to take them out. And there you go, going to do it again. Just all combining their efforts to get the Rhine. That's a stagger on top of, well, the opposing team only having 5. Yet they do get a Reaper now to help with some of that Winston dive. Of course, any of the dive is coming towards Zed. So we'll have to wait and see how they take advantage.
Definitely Fluid taking advantage of this map as they just are, I don't know how to explain it. They just break apart their enemy, pick off Reinhardt here.
Yeah, it looks like they were going after the Reaper there for a little. See how this goes. If they are now just jumping on the spawns, trying to keep the Mercy from getting out. No, gonna slide through, get to the other spawn.
They're gonna shoot out the nerf, at least keep them off the point. Their Mercy being picked off. We got a Roadhog coming in now, picking off their Ana.
I mean, they're trying their best, but the res coming out on Fluid side. The numbers are still heavily in their favor. That'll leave them with 6. They're just taking out members of Zed here as quick as they can. Kawhi,
Zed being eradicated.
Oh, they will get the res though on the Reaper, so along with the Coalescence, that'll give Zed the numbers they need. I think they finally got those numbers.
Yeah, it looks like they're pushing back Fluid here with a good cohesion with their Roadhog, their Mercy, and Moira. But that Moira just got freaking eradicated by Widowmaker over there.
And I will say that's just. That fight turned around real quickly, of course, due to spawn advantage. I mean, literally, you're right up there at the point. As long as you can push on back, you're good. And of course, we do have the Nano Genji going here with the blade. There you go. Going to get one immediately. Going to go after the Hog. Random weird thought there, but hey, going to go for it. And we're going to see Kawhi push back the D.Va. However, D.Va bomb out. Going to blow up Mercy and your D.Va out of mech. So Zed's gonna be taken down.
Very good ult by D.Va there. Very good ult by her, but she's just gonna push up without support and just get completely demeched and just gonna have to fall back.
However, they do have most of their team coming back here. They're still running that dive-esque style. I don't know if that's the.
Looks like D.Va, demeched D.Va here is just going after their back line. Oh, and just completely gets right back in mech when they don't expect. And eradicates anyone she can find.
And speaking of eradicate, there goes the Winston gonna knock off the Hog. There's one with the Primal. I thought they were gonna get 2. Enough to
there they go.
The points.
They pushed him off the point long enough for them to secure that payload.
I bet they're just booping people off the point. That's all you gotta do. Slap, slap, slap. Catch these hands of the Winston to clear the point. I will say, I mean. To be honest, like, Fluid's looking really good. To be honest, in all the scrims I've caught them in so far, they have looked really good throughout. So have Zed. Especially with the scrim we played against them. But it seems like they're going for a lot of weird comps they may not usually run. It looks like they're playing people on roles where they, at least I haven't personally seen them play on a lot throughout this. So that might be some of the issue they're having keeping control in these fights. They are trying to go slightly off, and of course we know the people playing in this game for Fluid, at least for the most part I know, like Jaybird, one of the best Anas I've ever got to see in League action, period, hands down. Zaz is a really good off tank and can jump on the main tank if needed, but of course you do have Death Unbound that can play it just as well. I mean, these people are playing the rules that they're used to playing. They're playing them consistently. High and Lord, as far as I've seen throughout all those scrims and stuff, they've been only DPS. So, I mean, they're playing to the best of their ability.
Definitely, and their Winston is in the back looking, I think, is just gonna eradicate anyone that the Genji can lead out. I think they're using the Genji as bait to lure them to the other players.
Yeah, I do believe that. And I mean, right now, at least as far as we're seeing, this dive for Fluid has been working amazingly. And I think you have to, if you're your opponents here, you gotta find a way to counter that. You gotta go that bunker anti-dive-esque comp. You know, the McCree, Reaper, Orisa, maybe even the Roadhog, but they are running. I mean, they got the pieces partially. But for the most part, you're just leaving yourself open. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to leave yourself open.
Looks like we got a sniper battle here, but gonna be pretty short-lived, I think, as Mercy has just arrived to finish it off.
And all I'm really going to say is it does look like they are trying to regain some of their ground here, pushing forward. And it just looks like, at least for me, these two teams, for the most part, they are very, very comfortable with these comps they're running, at least. Like, or they really like to go back to them a lot. Oh, there you go, the Dragon Blade coming back here. Connor, though, going to grab two. High going to get the pick there on the Genji. But I mean, as I was saying, it looks like these two comps that we're seeing from these two teams are the comfort zones for these teams. The Dive-esque comp being Fluid's main comp they've run throughout most of the game. At least
oh yeah, you can definitely tell. They're very comfortable with the Winston just trying to get these people off the point. Being very effective here is helping his teammates just pick them off.
Yeah, that is true. Very true.
D-Vault's coming in, getting one Genji. That's pretty good for them as that gets rid of some of that annoyance.
Yes, that is true, and I am back. I had to go see if someone's at the door, as we will see Zed F get through point number 1. And I mean, Zed doing a good job here on the offense, at least. They did really good on the defensive. They've definitely bounced back a bit since the tie on Hanamura. They have been trying to catch back up with that. I mean, they played really well on the offensive throughout. It's just that as we've gone along and they get further and further, more time taken off the clock, they become more and more easy to grab, I guess. They're easier to take down. I don't know how it happens, but it just seems the numbers, the longer they stay around in a game, tend to fall more in their opponent's favor. Like we're seeing right now, look at there. I mean, just literally pushed on through is their opponent's taking out Zed.
Looks like Fluid's Diva is going to stay on the point here with Anna as she just snipes from behind, healing her teammates, but it looks like Zed F is going to push through. Oh, I see what they're doing here. They're trying to flank, they're trying to lure them out with an empty point and just eradicate them from behind as they're doing currently.
Power boosted, nano boosted Genji is definitely the scariest move this side of the Overwatch world, as they proved there. And of course now the pick's just falling more and more in favor with Fluid, as we're not seeing this dive get stopped. It's not getting shut down. It's not happening.
And it looks like Fluid has just completely eradicated Zed F off this point, as they are coming back in numbers here.
Oh, and there goes Lord getting picked. You have the Rhine coming back. I do think... Oh, there you go. Just get straight to the Winston shield. He's popping the Primal, though. Anti and Diva Bomb going to spread out
the nerf
as well. Even more.
Gonna pick off Reinhardt, surprisingly.
That somehow caught the Rhine. I thought the shield was up, it looked like, but I guess not.
I guess Diva picked him off just like at the right moment.
As we are going to see Zed though move the payload. Excuse me. There we go.
Zed's Reinhardt's being very aggressive here, going after the Diva and Ana. Without reinforcements too, but it looks like the Genji's going to try and come over here and support.
And
Hammer down up here as... Oh,
gonna
dang.
solo shatter Jaybird. Gonna get caught out though. As now we are going to be seeing Zed Up do push through. Go to get to the third point.
Fluid Diva is demech'd and just eradicated by Reinhardt here.
Now Zed does have a slight advantage here. They did stagger out the enemy Diva. Of course, and they do have an ult that's ready, and all the rest are over half except for their Widow ult. So they do have a bit of ult advantage here. At least it looks like it on paper. And then of course High gets the pick on Expert.
So it looks like Zed is just gonna camp that point here, just trying to get it to the checkpoint as fast as possible, as they do only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Speaking of which, Nano Blade coming out, lots of pins. Gonna get pinned into the wall, cut off, but not before the Ryan's weakened to a point of near death. Rez out on the, well, once the nanoed Genji as well. Fluid quickly bouncing back from the slight setback of letting their opponents get that second point.
Looks like Zed's coming back in numbers, trying to spread themselves out enough to where they can't be picked off like they were earlier, but they are trying to travel in a herd more, as I can see here.
Yeah.
And it looks like Zed is just trying to flank back here into this back room, try and pick off any straggling characters, but it looks like the Rhine is just gonna shatter those two, but with minimal effect as he's now being pushed back.
Yep, oh, the nice charge by Connor, however, gonna get anti-naded in the process. Gonna keep the Diva alive with that nade as well, and now Nano Diva! I don't know if that was intentional, but hey, it's gonna be a lot of damage out of a tank. More damage than usual from the Diva. And I don't know what you gotta do with Zed in here, but I think something needs to be swapped up. I mean, at this point, yes, you have made progress. You have made a good bit of progress up to this point. However, it just seems like now you got a minute left. You do have a good bit of ults, but your opponent has been stopping you for almost 2 minutes now since coming through that second point. Something has got to give.
Zed F's got 3 ults that they can really use here, and I think they're just gonna have to at this point.
There you go.
We got the Genji ult, but that takes out 2 up here. Back line, very good.
Yes, we'll grab 2 of them, so that will give Zed a little bit of room to work. Oh, and there you go. Gonna get Zed all of a sudden coming back.
And there's the road.
Picks.
Completely eradicated the enemy team there, and they're just gonna push up here. And I believe, oh, contested by the Mercy.
Yep, and that Widow as well.
And then now here they come back in numbers here, just trying to keep them off the point as long as they can.
Yep, grab. Oh my, not grab. Rez and Nano Blade once again coming out. 1. No, not gonna.
Just 1. But he at least scattered the enemy enough to where they can now pick him off. It looks like their Mercy here is AFK.
As the bomb's gonna come out, there you go. Just trying to fight to keep the point as fluid, and I gotta say, if you lose,
there goes Zed F.
And
Zed F has been eradicated here.
No, wait, Connor gonna barely touch.
No.
Not gonna survive long.
Not survived enough, and it looks like Fluid is gonna take it. Fluid is doing amazing in these rounds here.
I gotta say though, I mean, Zed has been really good as well. It's just that at that last moment, the last possible moment, literally the last 2 maps, both Busan and here, that's when things once again just swap favor to Fluid. I mean, we saw it throughout the 3rd point. They were getting beat up pretty hard till they made that last miraculous push. They
definitely
really did, and once that changed though, right at the very end when the ults quickly swapped favor to Fluid. And that's been their key, ult economy. Even though it seems like they're out of a fight ult wise, they're willing to, they've been winning a lot of fights without ults. And they only use ults all at once to help scatter opponents and give them an edge. As they seem to be winning more fights without ults than with ults.
Definitely, and it seems Fluid's strategy is just spread them out and take advantage of the squishy characters before going after the tanks, which is very smart on their move, but it also could mean Zed F could adapt. If they realize their strategy quick enough, Zed F could adapt and overcome this new strategy they're facing.
Well, that's the thing though, we've been seeing the same, like, almost basic comp style from Fluid throughout all these maps up to this point. They have been running very consistently that dive-esque style comp. Like, I think it was first push Hanamura, they stopped using it till they were done with that map, and they've been pushing it ever since for the most part. They haven't found a way to stop it, or they would have stopped running it. And I mean, now we are going to have some more swaps here on the side of Fluid. We are going to be seeing Warrior come in for Jaybird. Jaybird being one of the workhorses throughout this one, playing all 4 maps up to this point. Finally going to get subbed out. Chaston will be coming in for Death Unbound, another one I believe that's been in the whole game. We have a couple of workhorses there on Fluid's side. All of Zed F except for DJ have been in all game. I mean, you got to think, if they're tilted, they're tired. If they're tilted, you know, that's already one bad step to go mentally, or you're already going to be all over the place. And if you're already getting beat down and you're tired, that's going to make it even worse. It's going to make it hard for you to think, hard for you to come up with swaps on the fly. So you got to be
Definitely, ZF's morale is being most likely beat to a pulp here as they're just getting obliterated throughout these past rounds.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even that they're getting obliterated. It's just that, like, they're getting so close. It's just like in sports, like NFL, you know, you get to the Super Bowl, you get down to the last play. All you need is to score that touchdown. Yet you get stopped on the 1-yard line, just inches short of winning the game. That's basically what's been happening repeatedly over and over and over for Zed. They're just getting right to the very end, right towards the finish line, and then a big old roadblock comes up.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be doing a number on their team here, but hopefully they can pull something out here in Oasis. Maybe they can go with a good comp here. I believe something definitely to do with maybe Genji and maybe Pharah could really work together well on this map.
That is true, and just randomly before we start the actual game, I'm just screwing around with my phone and playing Pokemon Go from my chair, and I got a shiny Eevee dab. That was cool. That was a cool little thing in between intermission. I'll take it. But back on focus. It's just like, that was just cool to get in the middle of the break. But here we go. Fluid up 3-0, which, by the way, nope, map number 5031 Fluid. There we go. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what we're going to see pulled out by both teams here. I mean, it does look like we're going to see almost the exact... Well, no, never mind. It looks like we're going to be seeing a slightly different comp coming out on the side of Fluid here. Reaper, Doomfist, Brig, Lucio. Completely different shift from what we've been seeing from them the last couple maps. Less dive.
Yeah, it looks like Zed F is going very sniper heavy here.
Triple sniper to be exact. Oh my. And I mean at this point, I think they're just trying to do whatever they can to win this. I mean, you really want to try to win at least one map. That's the big thing we always push. You want to win one map. Even if, of course, that means you're going to be near the bottom of the standings, but you still won one. That gives you at least you can say on that map, yeah, we did something right. That's good. And I mean, they did get the tie as well, so they're not in a horrible spot standings-wise. But we're going to have to see how they can counter this very fast-paced, high-damage comp. I mean, Brig's nerfs haven't hit yet, so she's still strong as can be as... Well, High and Chaston going to combine for 4. Yeah, no, I think this was still looking heavily in the favor of Fluid as it's going to be Chaston and, team wipe.
My goodness.
This is a scary comp.
It really is. Fluid is just doing insane on this map here, just eradicating Zed F here. Hopefully they're going to be able to push back here as they're moving up with their Rhine, flanked by Roadhog and Moira.
I'm sorry, you got high DPS in this comp throughout, except for the Winston. But the thing that I think, if this is
the double kill with Hanzo's ult, very nice.
And
then just picked off, completely picked off there.
I just noticed they're running triple DPS, so this is like a high damage comp. They're just going high damage, and the only reason I think you have the Winston there is because A, the squishies, but B, the damage is unblockable through that shield. You can't block it through the Reinhardt shield. It's gonna get through and tickle people to death. So even if your DPS can't do damage, you got Brig that can bust down that shield, Lucio that can speed your team up through it, and of course your DPS that can flank around for the most part, except maybe.
And then we got the ambush here, just completely catching them off guard and just getting that triple, quadruple. Oh man.
The high amount of burst
And then
damage.
Mercy falling off, and then Mercy falling off the map.
Yeah,
Man, this high damage comp is scary.
I mean, literally, it's high burst. I mean, literally, Brig, Hanzo, Doomfist, they're all known for using combinations of moves, or heck, just even having just one for Hanzo being the Storm Arrow that can burst the crap out of your health pool before you even get started. And then, of course, you have the Reaper that, while its high damage, is consistently high.
Looks like that Meteor Strike's gonna pick off one Hanzo, and yeah, they're getting pushed right back into spawn. They haven't Zed F hasn't even touched the point this round.
They haven't even gotten a chance to sniff it. I mean, by the time they get up those stairs, they're getting ambushed by this damage comp. They don't have enough health to break through this, and I think
No.
what you gotta do to help compensate for this high burst is you gotta get more heals. I think you gotta run triple support, and maybe might not be the brightest move, especially with all the DPS involved here, but maybe Goat. I mean, push straight to point with a big, chunky comp. You know, big old health pool.
Definitely.
That might help out. We'll have to wait and see what they're gonna pull.
So it looks like ZF switched to Symmetra here, which is very good on their part, as there are a lot of tight corners on this map, so they could place down a well-placed turret cluster and just really eradicate a tank, or definitely a squishy.
I mean, it looks like we're seeing almost the same comp from Fluid, except they're going to be running the triple support. Their adversaries Zed are just going to run 6 DPS. I don't know if you've already hit the point of we're done, you know, because it's what it seems like. But to be honest, this 6 DPS could work. As soon as
It looks like the ambush from Doomfist really caught them off guard there, and they got eradicated in this back corner there.
Yeah, I about to say, as soon as I said that, suddenly you see the ambush come out from the Doomfist. This is just like one of those really aggressive pick comps. I mean, it's fast, it's mobile, and the damage is high. You're not finding your way out of those fights very often, unless you have enough heals to sustain.
And with their Mercy here being a battle Mercy, I'm not sure how much heals they're doing. Which, that's definitely the kind of Mercy I am. I'm definitely a battle Mercy, but if I see my team needs me, I'm gonna fall back. But it looks like their Lucio is actually keeping up with heals and speed here, and it's being very effective against ZF.
And I will say, literally, once again, Fluid, this... I don't know how you stop this. It's literally just a mobile destruction machine. It's not even a death ball. It's just murder. That's it. It's just murder.
And ZF's Reaper up here is just trying to hide while his team gets regrouped, and it was ineffective as Winston found him.
And there you go, Fluid just pushing that huge chunk of damage. They're like, you see this huge chunk of damage? Lucio speed moves right into your face. And it's just like, yeah, no, you're not getting away. And if
yeah, ZF really can't do much against this. They're just... Yeah,
they are running 6 DPS. They have no heals, no tanks. And you're already getting obliterated with the huge DPS the first time when you had a balanced comp. Now you're just trying to fight it with 6 DPS that are really squishy to begin with. Yeah, no, that's not going to end very well. It's not. And once again, Zed has not even got to touch the point. They're just kind of sitting there, couldn't get anything rolling. As held at spawn, we will see Bob come out, but that'll be about it. He didn't have a chance to do
My goodness.
something.
Yeah, ZF just... I think it's actually safe to say, in this one at least, that there's nothing that they could have done.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, there's just nothing that could be done there, especially with this high DPS comp. However, it's going to be the Winston getting the play. Just tagging everybody a bit with the shocky beams, you know, just with the laser. There you go. Whoosh. And that will be your play. That will end the match. Final score falling in the favor of Fluid, 4-0-1. There was a tie, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, if you haven't got to see Hanamura, go back and watch it. Very beautiful Overwatch gameplay if I've ever seen it. But that'll be the
Definitely.
end of our broadcast. I'd like to thank my colleague here that has joined us for the evening. Thank you for jumping on with us to
Yeah, I had a
look at the
blast. This was really great.
Hopefully we can get you back in here sometime, but thank you for coming out and helping commentate.
Definitely.
Let's see. Looking forward in the schedule, we already discussed it a little bit entering week 2, but both of these teams moving on now. Fluid next week. We'll be playing Enigma, kind of coming off kind of a weird one win-loss thing there. I kind of want to see where that one goes. It could definitely be an interesting matchup in and of itself. Zed F will be playing the team we watched last night, Krusty Crew. Once again, you know, a battle of teams. Sure, they're going to be at the bottom of the standings, but they both showed their worth in their matchups. So I really want to see how that one goes. The rest of the schedule, of course, will be coming out, and is actually already out. So if you want to go check that out, check out the schedule section of the Discord. If not, those matches will be up here on this channel next week when the games are ready. With that being said, that is going to be the end of this game. We're just going to get some people in. There we go. With that, that's going to be the end of
Awesome.
our game. Standings should be updated relatively shortly, if the latest tomorrow. But that'll be it for the Overwatch League of Champions. Once again, thank you for joining me on commentary. It was a blast.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Hold on, we got a question, and that'll be it. I have been your host, Chubby5544, and until next time, this is the Overwatch League of Champions signing out.